This is how I feel about my current job. Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl at Fashion with Aisha here, and I'm back with another video. This is definitely a money making tips business video. If you are looking for a new job, I have some great suggestions for you. Whether it's you don't like your environment, the commute is too long, your coworkers are annoying you, or maybe you're moving and you want a new position. Stay tuned because I have some great tips for you. And you can copy this look that I just created. See ya. Turn your volume down. That's how I feel inside every day that I get up to have to go to work. I am sick of it. Let's talk about it. Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. I work in the office, and I haven't had an office job since I worked at a call center during college. And let me tell you, I've never liked office jobs. One, you're sitting down most of the time unless you take the initiative to stand up, which I try to do. Two, you're in a boring, ugly office space. Three, you have no personal privacy or your own space. You have to share cubicles or a desk area. That's all you get as your own area. And then you have to deal with hearing people eat and pass gas, and then you have coworkers that just gossip. And if you don't like gossiping, it gets really infuriating to keep hearing people gossip all the time versus tell people to their face or just to explain something. It's super draining being in the office for me, especially if you're a creative and you like to express yourself. You have a limited ability to do so in the office. Here I have Born This Way in the shade Caramel or Caramel. I'm not one to complain without action. So let me tell you what I'm doing because of how much I do not like my job anymore. First off, I completely revamped my LinkedIn profile. I updated all of my descriptions on my jobs. I deleted the year of graduation because some employers can be age discriminatory for new grads or if you graduated within the last 5 years. But if you were like me and you were working full time most of your time through college, you have lots of career experience. So it doesn't matter when you graduated because you've already been working at a full-time job, and I even worked in an administrative level while in school. This is my favorite setting spray, Urban Decay All-Nighter. F4 of Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Foundation. You're probably wondering, what do you mean by you updated their descriptions in LinkedIn? I made sure I use action verbs that would pop up when I put my resume in a job board or when I apply for a job position. I put action words that the employer uses in their description of the job. So I looked up a whole bunch of job descriptions that I think I would be a great candidate for, and I started using those jobs as a reflection of my resume. So I updated my resume to fit what they are asking for in the job description. Fenty Cream in 06 Chocolate for my contour. I made sure I saved my resume with my first name, my last name, and apostrophe S because my, or not apostrophe S, just apostrophe because my last name ends with an S. So I just put the apostrophe and then I wrote resume. So that's my first name, my last name, an apostrophe, and then the word resume as the title for the file. And I saved it as a PDF. You can also use Word, but most databases would request PDF, and then also PDF usually doesn't change the format as much as a Word file would when people are uploading and downloading your resume. PDF generally keeps the format as the same as you have intended it to look. Let me tell you all of the job boards that I put my resume and I created profiles on, so you can do the same if you want to improve your scope in your application to a huge audience. So I have work from home, Indeed jobs, Glassdoor, I have ZipRecruiter, LinkedIn, Monster, Career Builder, and if you are in the education sector or you're looking to move into education, you can also put it on Higher Ed. You can sign up for a deal It's an annual conference that recruits for educators in higher education, higher ed jobs, and then Ed Weekly Top Jobs is another database that I put my resume. And let's see, what else do I use? I just found out this new one called Dynamite Jobs, and they do strictly remote positions, and that's what I'm looking for. So you have to decide what your non-negotiables are, write those down, and put those in your filter. So for mine, I put down I want to be 100% remote because I want to be able to start my job now and be able to move when my lease expires in December, and then I also want to be able to travel while I'm working. So I need it to be 100% remote, and I won't accept any position that is not 100% remote. You can also put down how far you're willing to drive. You can put down entry-level, associate, or senior level positions, depending on your experience. You can put down, depending on the field or the sector you want to work in. You could put keywords in your search, but I just keep it simple and broad because I'm open to anything. I just want to get my foot in the door in remote jobs. The next thing you have to do after you've created all your profiles and you started searching for your job position, you need to build some skills. You need to get some new skills that you can use if you want to get a higher salary than the current job you have. I am currently getting a certificate in instructional design, and instructional design basically is learning how to create e-learning modules for learning or training people. So I can work in higher ed, I can work in elementary, or I can work for different industries that need online portals or profiles created that has content in it or some type of training module for their employers to learn off of. And I have experience with web design already because I created my own website, and that was fun. And I believe that I would enjoy doing that full time. And it's a great start to see, what my next career opportunity would be. So you have to build your skills. You have to take the time and invest in yourself. And I'm also working to get my teaching certificate, which I have been working on for like 2 years or so now, but I'm more serious about it at this time. Now, you all, they say do not quit your job until you have your another job. You've already signed the offer letter and you started. And I personally cannot continue to work at this job. It's just draining me, and I've been wanting to quit since January, to be honest, but I haven't found the right job. But like I said, I'm putting in the effort full force now to get another job. I've gotten some offers, but nothing has fit what I am looking for with the salary wise. I'm currently making a little under 50,000, but I want to go up to 65, 75,000. I need some more money. Laura Mercier setting powder in the shade Translucent to set my highlighter. Now, let's say you do get your new job that you're wanting. I recommend you to continue leaving your open to work. Oh, I never said this. Make sure you put your LinkedIn set to open to work so employers can find you. And it's supposedly not supposed to let your current job know, but that only happens if you have your current job listed on your LinkedIn profile. So I did have to add mine because I usually don't have my current job just because I am on social media and I don't want someone to get vindictive. But right now, if someone did do that, then that's okay because I'm putting my 2 weeks in anyway. So if they do fire me for something crazy, which I doubt it because I don't have anything crazy on my online, just I might hurt a couple of feelings here, but I don't say anything that's ill intent, or I don't say anything that should be against company policies. It would just hurt people's feelings. But sometimes we've seen it all over TikTok. People have gotten fired for less things. So that's why I've never put my current job on there. But like I said, I'm leaving, so I kind of have to. I was pushed into a corner there. My Anastasia Beverly Hills powder bronzer in the shade Saddle. Oh no, I just got a big dent in it and spilled everything on me. Get that off. I said all that to say is don't delete your profiles or hide them or put them on private even after you've accepted the job and you started, because what if you don't like the position, or what if the company doesn't fit your needs? So now you have to kind of start all over and get your name back out there. So just keep your profile open until you know for sure that you want to stay there for however long. And also, I can recommend some TikTokers that have great career advice. I've listened to some of their advice, and it's helped me with my career search. I'll list them here. And then if you're in school or you have a job that offers career advancement, kind of like conferences or Zoom calls that teach you how to increase your career or your portfolio, make sure you join them, because I just attended one for the university that I'm at right now, getting my, it's called a post-baccalaureate certificate, which I can use those master's credits to get my master's degree. I currently went to the Zoom, and that's where I found out about the higher ed job portal. I didn't know about that one before. All the other advice they gave me, I already knew. They have advice because they're in it, and they're learning how to teach people how to build their career and their portfolio. So they know exactly what to do. So make sure you go and ask them for advice, because that's their job, is to help students or to help people at the job increase with the company. This is NARS in the shade Torrid. I was just distracted by the puppy. She's so cute. Her eyes, she has a hazel, not even hazel, it's like a sand dusky green and orange and yellow eye. Oh my goodness, it's beautiful. She's gorgeous. She's not my puppy, by the way. I'm just kind of training her and keeping her for a while. Oh, here she is. She wants some camera time. She loves camera time. I'll show you guys her. Oh. Go say hi to the people. Look at her eyes. Oh God, so pretty. Okay, get down, little girl. Ooh. Now, those of you who are nervous when you interview, you need to start practicing. And the way you can start practicing is by looking at yourself in the mirror and answering questions that you can find on Google. Search in top interview questions or interview questions and enter blank your career. And it'll give you questions that you can start practicing to answer. Usually, it doesn't matter what scenario you give as long as it answers the question that they're asking. You can make up stories. It doesn't have to be a real story. Who's going to be able to back check that in your career and see if you did this? Nobody. So as long as you're answering the question and you're not rambling, you're good to go. And speak with confidence, speak clearly, and don't rush and don't speed. Take your time when you speak. However, don't take too long. It should be quick and to the point. It shouldn't be long and winded. Another way that you can practice interviewing is to record yourself with your phone and listen to yourself back and see what you can improve on and how you sound, and if you look confident when you're speaking or not. That's another awesome way to kind of practice before you interview. But I recommend you practicing if you are one that gets nervous during your interviews. FaceTime a close friend and have them ask you questions and ask them to rate how your answer was. That way you can also practice speaking, because a lot of these, especially if you're doing a remote job, your interviews are going to be on Zoom or Google Meets. So it's best to practice and see how you look on a phone anyways. This is the sad truth, but ladies, we typically have higher chances of getting hired for jobs if we put a little makeup on and make sure our hair is neat during the interview. Men don't have to do that, but for us women, we are getting judged by our appearance during interviews. So I recommend that you do put a little makeup on, put a little mascara, concealer, and lip gloss or chapstick or a lip tint, something mild for your interview, because you will be getting judged on your appearance. If you need help updating your resume, there are a couple of free websites that will look at your resume and see how it compares to others in your job field. I know one I just recently used is called Top Resume, and I think I got access to that through one of the job boards I posted my resume on. It offered me a free resume consultation. I used it and they did give great advice for my resume, and I used it. I read an article that said Black women are less likely to apply for a job if they don't fit all of the qualifications. However, a lot of people apply for jobs and they don't fit the qualifications. It doesn't matter if you fit all the qualifications or not. If you want that job or you think you would be great in it, apply. The worst thing that can happen is you get a denial email, or you don't even get an email back because they're having so many applicants that they can't respond to everyone. Just apply to as many jobs on there as possible and see what happens. It's not going to hurt you. Don't take it personally if you get a denial letter. I've probably received about 20 denial emails in the last 2 weeks, and it didn't hurt my feelings one bit, because I've also received some emails requesting to set up an interview. You win some, you lose some. This is NYX Matte Finish Spray. If you need a job right now, I recommend you getting a job through EduStaff, which is an agency that hires substitutes. Schools, districts are in desperate need of subs, so you can start working right after you get your substitute permit, which is you have to complete some type of orientation and do a background check and a couple of things before you can start working, but it's a quick process. Another thing you can do right now, because it's that season where people are shopping for Christmas gifts, is getting a retail job. All the stores in the malls are hiring, believe it or not, they are. You can get yourself a job with the quickness and start working immediately in the retail field right now. Even grocery stores are hiring. Amazon is always hiring. So if you need a job right now, those are the industries I recommend, is education and retail. So it can be a little nerve-wracking sometimes when you receive 30 job postings a day from all the different websites, and you're wondering, how do I determine which jobs are real and which ones aren't? So a good way to do that is basically going to the company's website and seeing if they have the job opening under their careers page. You can also back check the employer on LinkedIn, whoever emailed you, see if their LinkedIn is linked to the company that they're currently at. You can also contact someone at the company and verify that employee and their email address. You can also use an app on Google called Google Voice, and you can make sure whoever's calling you is the person that the phone number is subscribed to. And then I know now Apple has it where it has a check. That means that that person has been verified with the cell phone provider. But one sure way to know it's not a real job is if they're asking for your ID, your passport number, your personal information, banking information over email. You never send that stuff over email. It should be a portal that you can enter it in, or you can go in person if it's a job that's local and fill out a form. All right. If they're asking for that information, it's not a real job. You should never be having to pay for anything to get into the job. Certain jobs I've worked in education, I did have to pay for a background check. Sometimes they paid for it, or there's this website called MI Registry that if you are in education in Michigan, you know all about it. It's where it has all of our training. So if we move from one job to the other, everything is just under one database. Sometimes you may have to pay for your own trainings on there, and then some companies will pay for your training. So it all depends, but trainings, I would say, is online training should be the bare minimum, not the bare minimum, but really the only thing I would say that you would have to pay for. You shouldn't be paying for any of the company's, the tools that you would need for the company, like company laptop, microphone, headset, anything that you would need specifically for that company that you can't use at other employers, they should be providing for you. Girl, who are you to be giving career advice? Well, let's just say I've worked a billion different jobs and I am excellent at interviews. I know how to give a great story and relate it to the job. And I have never been denied a job that I interviewed for. I denied them because either it doesn't fit my current needs, salary-wise, location-wise, or I just don't think the company would be a good fit for what I believe in and my character values. And a random but another thing that I would like to say is make sure you don't tell your coworkers until you put your 2 weeks in that you're thinking about leaving, because they're definitely going to tell everybody. So you don't tell them until you put your 2 weeks in that you're putting your 2 weeks in, or that you've just put your 2 weeks resignation in. And if you really hate your job that much, you don't even have to put your 2 weeks in if you don't plan on using that company as a reference. You only need to put your 2 weeks in if you're going to use that company as a reference, or you actually have some type of care for your coworkers and your team and you want to give them time to adjust to you being gone. Those are the only reasons you need to put your 2 weeks in. It's not against the law not to. And you do want to check. Most jobs I've worked, none of the jobs I've worked in required me to do it. I've never signed any agreement or contract saying I would. So if you did, then obviously that's different. You may have to pay some money back, but or if you use your company to pay for schooling, if you don't stay for the duration that they say, and it's usually like 2 years, you will have to pay them back for the financial aid that they gave you. But other than that, you can leave your job whenever you want. You don't have to give them a 2 weeks notice if you are seriously that deplorable. If the job place and the workplace is seriously deplorable, I don't even recommend you staying for 2 weeks. Just leave. 2 more pieces of advice for my Black women or women of color that aren't necessarily conventionally attractive or the European standards of beauty. Some people have said that they don't even put images on their online profiles like LinkedIn or Monster or Indeed. They don't even put their pictures because they don't want to be discriminated against. And some people have also said that they don't use their real name if your name is unique in a sense where it's not a common name that you hear in the European communities. They say that they use a fake name for the interviewing process in their job boards. So those are 2 other pieces of advice that you can do if you feel like you may be discriminated against because of your name or the way that you look. This is my final look and my final tidbit of advice for you all. If you are in the same situation that I am and you no longer enjoy your position at work, you don't enjoy the environment, or maybe you don't like the people that you work with or the people that you interact with, or you don't like the location and you're tired of the commute, whatever the case is, you're looking for a new job, I hope you take some of the suggestions that I offered. Again, don't take everything I say to heart. You should do your own research and make sure that what I say is something that you would agree with, because again, this is your career, this is your life. So don't take everything that I say for face value. You should do your own research, of course. I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.